Welcome back to the morning show. Thank you for that break, for being there with us. And I'm still with the crew on the morning show. And we will continue where we left off. This time around, let's go to the Nigerian Tribune. Well, before we go on, I should think the Tribune should be one of the oldest newspapers we have.
Yeah.
It is a paper founded by Chief Bafemi Awolowo. Became a Western. I think his family members still control. It's been one of the oldest papers around. If not, I think probably with Daily Times, which is not what it used to be. Well, that said, this is how I acquire my properties, Malami. That is on the Nigerian Tribune. Former asked court to set aside interim forfeiture order. Former Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami has told the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja that his properties sought to be forfeited by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) was acquired through legitimate and lawful means, as stated in his asset declaration forms at the Code of Conduct Bureau (CCB). In a motion on notice filed on Malami's behalf by his legal team led by Joseph Daudu, SEN, the former IGF, alleged that the Anti-Corruption Agency got the interim order by suppression of material facts and misrepresentation. Malami said in the motion that the streams of income and the continued profit generated from his businesses over the years sufficiently shows that the property sought to be forfeited were acquired through legitimate and lawful means. Daudu submitted that Malami copiously declared the source of income in his assets declaration filed with CCB to include 374,630,900 million income for salaries, estaco, severance, allowance, and others. So the stream of incomes, according to documents filed before the court by Malami through his counsel, came from city allowances as board committee member of Federal Judicial Service Council, went on and on. While I was reading it, I don't know why there's a song by this musician, Olamide, keeps playing in my head, Story for the Gods, Story for the Gods. I don't know. I don't know why the song keeps playing in my head. How I acquired it and the song came. Naphtali, let me hear. Do you know the volume of properties now?
Yes, you said something that is very, very important, and I think I would also like to, in as much as I'm not good in singing, but it's more of a story for the gods. When I see people mentioning money that are coming from friends, that are coming from businesses and all this, and these are some, what we are looking at is someone like this, when you are going into a position, we are not looking at what you have at the time. When you are coming to this office, what are the assets you declared as your own asset? Are we getting the picture?
Yeah.
Now that you are leaving this office, or now that you left the office, has this thing doubled? If it doubles, these are periods where you don't even have much time to look at your personal businesses. These are times that people are the ones governing, doing their businesses. We know that you have a lot of engagement on the public sector that is not even supposed to. If you are getting like 100,000 a day, we expect, because your attention wasn't there, it is divided, it may tend to be getting at least maybe 80 downward. So, but somebody will now come in the money he wasn't able to generate in his business for 20 years. The period of 2 years that he occupied a government office, the money now double or even triple. And this is where confusion now comes in. No, because definitely it's even confusing just himself. If somebody, this whole thing that we are mentioning here, we knew there is something that is under the carpet and it needs to just come out clearly. And for people to go after you as a person, they have a lot of insight they look at. They have a lot of things. You are not able to acquire the numbers of houses you claim you have now at the time, before you were in this system. And even your legal entity, your chambers that was governed, it was headed by somebody else because you are out of the system. Then all of a sudden, you're not becoming the almighty that have houses in Kano, you have houses, properties in Jigawa, you have properties everywhere in the world. This is where problem is, and it's not just limiting to this particular person alone. We've been saying this thing always. You can't if truly you hold a government office, we have people that will look up to them now as good leaders in the north. Like we knew of the case of Amadou Bello, where we said example that he left the government not even having a house in Kaduna, which is the center.
Yes.
So you look at it, but today we have who will come out wholeheartedly as a governor, as a member of assembly, as a minister, as a senator, to say that he did his tenure all-rounded in Abuja without acquiring a property in Abuja today.
And these are people, some could not even afford the
property before. We knew very well that some people were even picked out of their least period in life, where they don't even have anything to say of. And all of a sudden, somebody will now be the owner of the huge land in his community. Somebody will now become. We've seen situation whereby leaders that were elected to defend people coming back to their own community to fight with people over the land, acquiring document of land and doing all these things now. These are some of those ills that we're talking about. If truly we want to help ourselves out, people should be come out and accept responsibility. When you are faulty, you are faulty. Let the law does its judgment on you, so that other people will see, instead of hiding under this thing. This is just taking this thing under the carpet to be prolonging the situation, and the end of everything will just be wasting much time on this particular issue. Malami should have more valuable explanation to this.
I can see Naphtali is really tense. So
you see, I think this is one of the bane of EFCC in Nigeria. When issues like this come up and it reaches this stage, this is, in most instances, the point where they lose it. They should have conducted their proper investigation before even bringing it up. Because as it stands now, there is these, what do you call it? These honors to explain, or honors of explanation. There's this term they call in legal terms, where Malamina has the right to explain. Now, it is this explanation that will drag, and there will be procedural lapses, and there will be loopholes that will be exploited. You understand? He's innocent until proven otherwise by the court of law. So whatever it is, whatever emotions were attached, whatever things we say, okay, we know that you are not rich, but all of a sudden you became a minister and become rich. It is still not what is going to be accepted in the court of law until you prove it beyond every reasonable doubt that these properties do not belong to him. Now, as this case continues, at this stage in time, you will discover that all those houses listed, some of them, if not all, at the end of the day, Malami may explain and win the cases that there are all these properties that were legally acquired. Now, that is why the problem lies.
Yes.
I am of the opinion that before this issue is even brought up, the EFCC must have done its own investigation, taking into cognizance that there is this honors of explanation that may come up, and they have beaten that, even during investigation, that it is truly not his property. For you to bring it up and say, okay, you will have to come and explain how he got it, you will discover something will happen, the judge may be sick, adjournment maybe, and it is those procedural and loopholes that will be exploited. So I think this is one of the bane of EFCC as an institution. They will need to do better. We don't actually need some of these dramas. If it is in some civilized, some more developed nations, not civilized, in more developed nations, you will discover that there is no way. Immediately they say you are accused of a particular crime. In most instances, you don't pass through all these procedures of going to court after 2 weeks, after 1 month, for you to explain how you acquired 250 houses like that. So I think that's.
Do you even get the whole story? What really touches my heart is you see, not just Malami to be specific, you see some people when situation like this comes in, where you see other people coming that these houses were gifts by friends. Some monies were contributions by friends to support you in times of your trouble.
Is the loophole I'm saying? He has friends. You don't.
Yeah.
So some of these things are there.
Now the problem is this. If you look at I looked at the list of cases done by a particular very senior lawyer against the EFCC. He won all the cases ended on technicalities. And these are people these are senior lawyers who are supposed to be those who uphold the law.
Yes.
If you look at these people, they go for the best. The EFCC can't pay for the best. If you look at EFCC, they usually get one of the people that really helped the EFCC was the present the chairman, who is a son. People like there's this Rotimi, this is Rotimi. I think yeah, there's a certain lawyer for EFCC, and then Festus Keyamo. These were people that were ready to sacrifice their services. Now, when you're ready to sacrifice your services, most time pro bono, I guess people can get 10 sons who are experts in different areas.
Yes.
Who sometimes, like we saw a case whereby someone gave his lawyer a gift of a property in the UK.
Yes.
To pay for his legal fees. Now, if you look at this, you see that there's a failure of the system, and if that thing is not corrected, the law will be bastardized. Those who are supposed to protect the law are looking for technicalities to knock off this law. And these are the people that are also supposed to write a framework in which these laws can be upgraded in the National Assembly. They won't do it because it favors them.
And I don't know how to say it. There are instances where this narrative may help to address. Somebody may be a thief that all indications show that he is the thief. But because of the fact that the case was not properly filed. Do you understand my so there are instances where some of these scenarios will make these public officials go scot-free because of technicalities, loopholes here and there. At times people use power play. The fact that people accuse the government of saying you're using EFCC to witch hunt is not out of place too, because we've seen instances where somebody that does not like your face or is feeling threatened by what you do politically will report their case to EFCC. I don't know how true it is. Somebody said it was one of the aides of Tafa Balogu, who is a sergeant, that felt bad of how he was treated, that reported Tafa Balogu, and finally EFCC got up with him. If that man was properly settled, do you think that report that he made was out of patriotism or something? No.
But the report
we cannot make that judgment, because what he was assigned to do at that particular time is to safeguard that particular individual, not to checkmate his activities in the office. Do you understand it? For him to do that particular act of bringing that one, we'll call it patriotism. So, but still at that, for him not to even serve him well, that one is another issue that we're supposed to look at it very well, because any moment somebody is under you, even from the context of religious basis, it's them that a servant should be served by his master as well, and all this.
Like the case of that Tafa Balogun, if I remember clearly, it was a case of a young man. He was not in the police. He's a son to a friend, a family friend of Tafa Balogun. So the boy helps him to run some active errands and the rest of it. So I think along the way, the boy also helped himself. I think 2 million naira or so, I can't remember, but it's not more than 5 million naira. He helped himself to a certain amount, and he was arrested by the then IGP, Fabalogo. He was detained. He wasn't taken to court. He was there for long. People intervened. People that know that this is your boy. This is the boy that run this errand for you. The father spoke. People spoke. And when it got to a point that the boy was languishing in detention, not taken to court, nothing, the boy now opened up and exposed everything he did for. So it was abuse of power that turned the boy into a whistleblower. But all things work together for good. That eventually it helped to expose who Mr. Tafa Balogun is made so rest in peace, and he served the prison, the jail term, and he came out. And he did well as an IGP of police in terms of police remuneration. But with this, his career didn't end the way. He was the first police officer they would call Super Cop. Supercorp. And he increased their remuneration, their benefit, welfare, and I think it created some units like the IRS and the rest of it that were able to tackle crime at that time. And he had a law background, so it was someone that everybody loved during that period. So, well, that is it. We just hope that this case, we are not saying that the former minister is guilty, but we say this keep coming up. You see people all of a sudden. Well, let's leave it at that. Let's go to the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust newspaper has this headline: billions lost at Kano commodity hub. Traders at Singa Market, one of Kano's major commodity hubs, accounting losses after an early morning fire raised parts of the market, destroying goods and property estimated to be worth billions of naira. The inferno, which broke out in the early hours of Tuesday, was confirmed by Kano State Fire Service. A spokesperson, Assistant Chief Fire Officer Saminu Yusuf Abdullahi, said the service received a distress call at about 3:16 a.m. reporting a fire outbreak at the market. Daily Trust gathered the fire started from a large warehouse located within the Mazaf complex of the market. Due to the intensity of the blaze, a nearby two-story building was engulfed and eventually collapsed. Sources within the market said the affected buildings were heavily stocked with commodities such as cartons of biscuit, milk products, detergent, butter, smoked fish, leading to massive losses. One of the affected traders who spoke to our correspondent said he was alerted while asleep and rushed to the market around 4 a.m. The fire incident attracted shop owners, market management officers, and residents of the area. Well, the chairman of Singa Market, Barrister Jainadu Mohammed, described the incident as unfortunate, saying traders have lost investment running to billions of naira. Assessment of damage is ongoing, but it's quite sad that this will happen, especially commodity market. In this, and there's no time. When I wanted to say in this economy, and I know there is no time that fire is destruction, loss is good.
Yes, I think the only thing I need to say at this point, the damage has already been done. Government will need to intervene, see how they can still eject money as interventions to these people, so that at least their sustenance will be revived and the economy will continue to be stable. Because if this is not tackled like that, there are tendencies that the consequences may not be well for the economy of Kano State and Nigeria as a whole. So we call on the government of Kano State and the federal government to intervene. Financial institutions, banks, and all the good people of Nigeria and even worldwide should see how the livelihood of these people can be restored and the economy.
Yes, it's very important. And, you know, this is where they got anything to feed the family and many other people that depend on them. And we have similar case in our state, here in Taraba. And it has been, it's almost like since December, January, we have a similar case even around the university access in the week. And likewise, the former one that has to do with the more pharmacy and the rest. And up to now, we have not seen anything happening within that axis. And we have recorded nationally wise a lot of issues like this. This were not just on the aspect of the government alone for intervention. The people and the environment should be more careful and make sure they take a good precautionary measures. Because I find out that sometimes we have some, if you go to like shops in the market here in the state, you will see the level of how naked wires will be exposed, the level of how things will be chalked up in a particular environment, the level of how the people in the shops don't take good measures of arresting those things even before they happening. That's why when it happens, they cannot do anything. And of course, most of the times we look at the fault on the side of the agency involved, like the fire service and the rest. But Fire service will not just go to the market and keep their work waiting, because things happens as accident before they comes in. And if these things, sometimes it may happen in the time where there, like the issue of the state where there's no water in the tank and all these things, which we're not saying that there's no justification for such act, but still at that, the owners of the shops, owners of the houses, to make sure they keep things that are harmful, things that will cause this fire to break out in a more safer environment. And people, more importantly, the electricity. Most of these issues that are causing all these problems, most of it is we have change in the weather, and any slight mistakes, spark will comes in, and then it will not light up and become something different. So let people concerned, the owners of the shops, should make sure that they have a good formation in terms of electricity. They have good formation in terms of usage of be it Bunsen burner, any other thing that will bring out fire. They let it be kept in a place that at least, even if situations like this comes, it will not escalate to a level of making a mass destruction.
Yeah.
And in case there are other human factors behind all those things, I think it's not going anywhere for you to cause havoc to the life of people, and then the people are depending from personal reasons or some things like that. So let there be let's all be human first before any of our decisions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the case of the Singa market. I scrolled down, I saw the report. 5 major incidents at Kano Singa market. Traders is one of Kano's busiest commodity and provision market hubs. Fire outbreaks have become a recurring nightmare over the past 10 years. This particular market has witnessed multiple infernos that destroy goods, and they listed 5 in April 2016. There are dozens of shops were raised in the market during early morning blaze. December 2018, a massive fire consumed more than 70 shops, destroying commodity values in tens of millions. March 26, 2023, several shops were gutted in under outbreak, smaller in scale but still devastating for affected traders. November 12, 2025, about 5 a.m., a fire started from a temporary shop attached to Abdul Munafi Yunusa House. The inferno destroyed 44 shops, including 25 temporary structures and 19 permanent stores. Now you also have this one, the latest. So 5 fire incidents in 10 years. Yes. So that shows that there is an issue with the structure of the church, of the shop. So the government must look into this, and also the market management must also look into this, because it keeps reoccurring. This is not coincidence. It shows that there's something wrong with the way the market is structured, and it is for their own good, because at the end of the day, it is those that use the market that will be at loss.
Yes, you said something. I'm still making emphasis on the owners of the shops again. No matter what the management of the market will do or the government will do, if there are no proper measures on the side of the people that are using this shop directly, you have a instance where one of the outbreaks started from somebody's shop, and it might be from reasons like we mentioned, like the electricity problem, switch off, or these things. This is a situation whereby somebody will close from the shop in the night, will not switch off all electrical appliances in the shop, and most of these issues. And then, in something, in the night, there are situations whereby some people will switch off their light, and the light will be on a high voltage, and if it's having any mistake like that, to escalate any spark, and I call on the management of the market, as well the owners of the shops in the market, to take a very good measures towards because repeated occurrences like this is more scary. We don't know what will happen. Yes, government can intervene and give you money, and that even if they are going to give you money to start up another thing, it will not be up to the level of damages caused by you. And if you are not taking another measures again, that will not guarantee you that this thing will not reoccur again. So let there be proactive measures on the side of the owners of the shops, likewise the management of the market.
That's right. Mr. Ira, is there anything you had before we go?
Excuse me. Just to buttress on the point you raised, from the architectural design, the infrastructure has to be structured in such a way that some of these emergencies can be easily tackled. When I've never been to Singa Market before, but I can use the example of the markets we have around this place.
Yes.
If you enter the market, you discover that if there is an emergency, definitely so many lives will be lost and properties will be destroyed, because even access for these vehicles, even if you're on foot, for you to even maneuver your ways around the market is a difficult thing. So I think one of these factors are the reasons why when these disasters strike, they deal a heavy blow on such investment. So when we want to do these things, let's
And
take
there is something that is so important. You know, we from the northern part of the nation, there's a way there's a mentality we have in the market. He mentioned the architectural design. Yes, the market will be built on that same concept. But you know, some people will, this is my teta, say, this is my this and that. You just, when you now come into the market, you know that this place definitely is meant for people to pass by. But you will now come and go through the market management, or some extent, you just be keeping you at a small thing, yes. Before you understand, you now begin to develop some little structure and you just block that place. And this is how these things happen. Like the main market there, you know, it has a structure. Very good formation. But from the management of the market, somebody will now come and just be putting his small rubber, selling something like that. All of a sudden, it now turns from the major reasons of our creation of that particular space. So I think it will be a very good one if they take a good measures.
Well, to all those who lost their properties and goods, Singa Market, Kano, we pray that God will help them recover, and also we call on the government to provide any kind of assistance they can to these people who have lost their businesses in the Singa Market fire inferno. We also call on Nigerians to ensure that safety measures should be taken, whether at home, offices, business. Let's switch off electrical appliances. Let it be properly connected. Let us take measures to ensure that fire outbreak does not occur wherever we are. And also we call on the security agencies to begin to do investigation, just in case to clarify that it's not arson. That means a deliberate act. But we're just saying that because all angles must be tackled so that we are sure that it's not arson.
Of course.
It's not a malicious act by someone or someone. So, well, that is all we can say. I say thank you very much for being on the show. Thank you. It's a wonderful day. It's a wonderful Tuesday. It's a day for you to keep going, and it's a day that I believe you're going to hit the ground running. So thank you very much. My name is Abraham Anajoda, and I've been with Mr. Daniel Kukwen, out of news and current affairs on Some TV, and also Mr. Albert Naphtali, and our broadcaster and anchor on Some TV. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful